So yeah, this has just been unleashed upon you.
Holy shit.
Let us have a look.
Yep, let's see.
Yeah, that. Yeah, I
It
think
looks
that was.
like a mix between a dog and an armadillo.
Yeah, and they're just the cutest things you ever seen.
Well, it's not the. It's not the most terrifying creature I have ever seen, and the idea actually works, but I cannot shake the feeling that they are still charging at us and wanting to bite our faces off.
Yeah, you're fighting rule war dogs. Give me a robot eye.
4.
Okay. As the creatures run towards you, you fell a couple of them with a mighty swing of your sword. One jumps for you, but barely manages to penetrate the thick robe and armor you're wearing at this point. You lose 2 endurance points.
Still more than I think we are soon able to afford.
Robot die again.
9.
Okay, with skilled ease you manage to plow your way through the dogs, chopping them in half, cutting them open, carving their sides up like turkeys, and before long there's just a pile of dead dogs in the hall. You win. Blood spattered.
Huzzah.
What?
Huzzah.
Hooray!
We take no joy in killing.
Peter would be so proud of us.
Yeah, I take no pride in killing animals, however mutated or, experimented upon they are.
Indeed. Blood spattered and drenched with sweat, you stagger away from the bodies of the slain hounds. It takes you a few moments to recover fully, but once you have, you set about a systematic search of the drawers of the desk. You find many scrolls and ledgers which you scrutinize for clues as to where in Mugaruth the virus is being cultivated. Unfortunately, the papers yield no useful information, but your search is not entirely fruitless. Beneath the ink pot, you find 2 small levers recessed into the desk's surface. As you examine them, your keen senses reveal that they operate the 2 middle doors to his antechamber. You flip the right-hand lever and the door by which you entered glides shut. Then you pause for a moment to prepare yourself before flipping the left lever, for you know that this will open the door which leads to Cadak's throne room. You flick the lever and turn to approach the throne room door. There's a faint rumble and the great metallic portal slowly glides open to reveal Archdruid Cadak's private domain. The room is a little larger than the antechamber. However, its furnishings and appointments are lavish in the extreme. Ornately carved furniture inlaid with gold and precious gems lines walls hung with priceless tapestries and paintings. At the center of the chamber stands a great black chair, sculpted to display demonic creatures paying homage to the sceneries. Glowing orbs hang suspended from the ceiling, bathing the chamber in a multi-hued light which is continually changing in color and intensity. So it's also a disco room.
Am I the only one who could just picture those evil druids of darkness just having a rave?
I'm pretty sure it's only Cadaks and the highest of the order who are allowed to participate in this rave.
Yeah, I'm sort of imagining this entirety of, as I picture the druids, Voldemort-alike, and then just going ooh ah, whatever the hell you play.
I imagine them dancing to the Bee Gees or something. You can tell by the way you. That's all. I can't sing it. So,
although your eyes and your keen senses tell you that the chamber is empty, you're reluctant to pass through the door. A stench of pure evil is flooding out from this room. How the hell does evil even smell?
Like cucumbers.
I'll take your word for it.
Like a mix between cucumbers and rotten eggs.
Okay,
and sulfur.
Or maybe it smells like peanuts.
I do not know, because I never pictured... Nah, never mind.
Okay, I'll write that down. Evil smells like a mix between cucumbers, rotten eggs, sulfur, and peanuts. Just give me a moment.
Okay. Wafting over you like an invincible sea that seeks to soil and corrupt all it touches. Fighting back your nausea, you force yourself to cross the threshold and search the chamber before its owner returns. Of all the precious items which crowd this room, your eye is attracted to 3 that seems to stand out from the rest. The first is a large crystal sphere which rests on the table beside the great chair. The second is a tapestry the largest of them all, which hangs directly opposite the door. And the third is a gold statuette which rests on a shelf to your left. Do you wish to use telekinesis?
Yes.
Yes.
You detect that the crystal sphere is the source of the evil which saturates the room. The closer you move towards it, the harder it becomes for you to suppress the feeling of nausea and revulsion which you are currently experiencing. You are sorely aware that time is running out. It cannot be long before either Cadak returns to his chamber or the Cineries discover that they have an intruder in their midst. With this thought in mind, you set about searching the throne room for clues that could reveal the whereabouts of the lethal plague virus you have come to destroy. Do you wish to examine the glass sphere, the large tapestry, or the golden statuette?
The tapestry, I would say first.
I would say the sphere.
I agree with Bruno.
Yeah, since it feels like the evil is coming from that one, maybe the evil is the plague.
As you approach the sphere, its sparkling crystal core is darkened by a mist. Rapidly, the smoky discoloration expands until it transcends the confines of the sphere and begins to take the shape of a swirling funnel which comes closer with every passing second. The moment that the edge of its sinister cone engulfs your vision, you sense a dramatic change take place, as if you have suddenly crossed over the boundary which separates consciousness from dreams. A sensation of falling assails your senses, and with panic in your heart, you try desperately to extricate yourself from this terrifying cone of darkness. Okay.
A cone of darkness.
Yes.
Is that just, the go-to eatable for all Dark Lords?
No idea. How high is your endurance at this point, Browner?
Let me have a look. Endurance.
You did remember to add for every time we made a choice, right?
Yes, I did, and that is what I'm going to read up. We have 22 endurance at this point. That would be around half our health.
Right, then you may roll the die given here and add 1.
4.
Huh.
Crap!
Okay. Like in total? Huh.
Yeah.
Huh. Maybe the dice is starting to not like you.
And I can actually already now picture you just holding up your hand, smiling ever so gleefully. Nah.
The sensation of falling accelerates until you are consumed completely by this spinning vortex. You have been drawn through a portal which leads to a terrible place, a realm where the power of good holds no sway. You have been ensnared by the soul of Nor himself, the king of the darkness, and as his prisoner you will remain doomed to wander his dark domain for all eternity. Tragically, your quest ends here.
That was the, 30th time I died?
Technically, I'm not sure we're dead, but okay.
Let me just add something
We
here.
might as well be. Got sucked into eternal darkness. Got sucked into eternal darkness.
Can't we just be sucked into eternal darkness until tomorrow?
Nope, it's for all eternity.
Let me just add something, alright.
I'm the Lord of Darkness.
I just added consumed by the Lord of Darkness itself, as I assume that when we talk about the Lord of Darkness, it is more of an it than a he or a she, because, darkness and, if you will, evil is sort of not really specified by gender, if you ask me.
It's genderless, is what you're trying to say.
I've seen Legend. He is definitely male.
Oh, if you mean Lucifer or something like that.
No, Lucifer is his dad.
I see.
You
Anyway,
haven't seen Legend, have you?
No, and...
You should. It's actually pretty good. As long as you see the director's cut. Anyways.
Yeah, roll the die again, given here and add 1.
5.
With all your strength, you resist the terrible power that is sucking you towards its heart. In desperation, you call upon the gods Kai and Ishia to aid you, and as if in response to your prayer, you sense yourself rising as the swirling vortex begins to recede. A terrible pain racks your mind and body. You lose 4 endurance points, but it does not break your will to survive this supernatural ordeal. Then abruptly, the swirling funnel evaporates, and you find yourself on your hands and knees, breathless and shivering, staring at the cold stone floor of Cadak's throne room.
So, Oh, you were saying?
No, just say what it was you wanted to say.
So this, I do not know, for the whole Lord of Darkness thing, of just darkness itself, I sort of find it silly that this treatment was sort of the equivalent of it just bringing a vacuum cleaner to our face and then just trying to suck us in. I thought it was being more about corruption or trying to twist our judgment or something like that, but yeah.
Slowly you rise to your feet, then a faint sound behind warns you that someone or something is moving about in the antechamber.
Fucking brilliant.
You spin around to see a figure standing in the doorway. He is tall and his sharp features are framed by a mane of flowing platinum hair. In his left hand he carries a wizard's staff, and in his right he holds a feathered quill, the pen of the creature who was once his scribe. There's a picture. So, yeah, this guy just came in.
Let me see.
He looks kind of miffed at this whole thing.
Yeah.
Can I be completely honest here?
Yeah?
I do not know if I'm the only one who has ever mentioned this guy, because I sort of admire him, but his face and his hair sort of reminds me of Raistlin Majar from the Dragonlance.
And you know what?
Yes? What?
I'm kind of happy with his showing up. We finally have an enemy who is not described as completely ugly. That's nice.
No, he's just old.
He's just old, and by the way, I sort of like his staff. And let me see, that medallion of his. I have no idea, but it sort of reminds me of one of those tribal stones, if you will. And overall, yeah, a elder druid, if you will, and we are going to fight him. Would be cool if it was not for the fact that we were very weakened at the moment.
Was it you who murdered Cadak? He asked, his powerful voice devoid of the slightest emotion. But when you do not answer him immediately, his voice and his expression undergo a dramatic change. His eyes radiate an unearthly glow, and your skin tingles as you feel his psychic energies probing at your mind. "You are not a brother!" he growls, like a rabid dog, and casts the quill aside. "Take off your mask and show your true self, assassin!" And with that he advances towards you with his staff pointing straight at your heart. You raise your weapon defensively, and in a blink of an eye, a crackling flame lights at the tip of his staff and comes roaring towards your chest.
I sort of picture it before he attacked that in our mind, in a sort of mental scape, if you will, that he was basically leaning over us, yelling out his lungs.
Basically. You raise the summer sword and catch the magical fire upon the flat of its blade. There's a deafening crack, and you feel an electrifying jolt run the length of your sword arm as the flame is deflected and sent roaring back towards the caster. He regards the rebounding fireball with a look of cool indifference and proceeds to sheath himself in a glowing cocoon of pale blue light. The flames split apart as they collide with this protective shell, flowing harmlessly around his body to disappear into the antechamber beyond.
Okay, forget about what I said before about not appreciating this because we're weakened. This is sounding like it could be a good fight.
There's only one who wields such a blade, he spits, pointing at the summer sword with his flame-tipped stiff. And I'll see that you perish upon it, Cadak, you shout in defiant reply. Ha! He sneers. I rejoice that fate has brought you here to me, lone wolf, for it is you who will perish. Turn around and meet your nemesis. You sense that Cadak's command is no simple trick, for you can feel another presence in the room, moving towards your back. You sidestep to your left and turn, keeping the archdruid still in sight as you glance across your shoulder at the rest of the chamber. Okay, that's pretty smart, just not going, oh hey, look, a distraction! Huh? Doink.
By the way, if we were using a shield as well, by the way, now I think it's... Did we use the shield?
You are using a shield.
Okay, I can actually just picture us standing there and then just using our sword to slam the shield, you know, like aggravating or something like that, an opponent towards you. Yeah.
You had been half expecting to see one of Cadak's henchmen sneaking forward with a dagger in his hand, and so the terrible sight would greet your gaze now is doubly shocking. Stepping from out of the tapestry, which covers the wall, is a gigantic ball-like creature with the head and face of a man. Two needle-sharp fangs protrude from its blood-stained upper lip, and its eyes gleam with a murderous lust that chills your soul. What had once only minutes before been woven into fabric of the tapestry now strides towards you with slow, purposeful steps, its tail and hands outstretched in eager readiness to tear you apart.
Is there a picture?
Yep, there's a picture.
Oh, great.